Peter Lalor represents an interesting example of the sort of person who was able to enter the Parliament of Victoria. I guess the story is reasonably well known. He was born in Ireland in 1827. He was a civil engineer by training, came out to Victoria in 1852 for the gold rushes, but in fact started as a merchant rather than a gold miner, then went to Ballarat and combined his merchant activities with being a gold miner. Became the leader of the Eureka uprising almost by accident when some of the leaders of the reform groups that were opposed to the licence fee and the way that the police were collecting that fee didn't attend a meeting, and he was the one who actually took over the leadership. And the story is very well known how on the 3rd of December 1854 at the Eureka Stockade, sometime on the early Sunday morning, sometime between 3:30 and 4 o'clock, soldiers from the 40th Regiment and police officers attacked a stockade with 120 miners in it. 30 miners were killed, 13 were arrested for sedition, but a number of the leaders escaped, including Lalor. Lalor, in fact, had been very badly wounded at the Eureka Stockade. He was hidden under a woodpile by his supporters, and they squired him away. And that very day, he had to have his arm amputated as a result of the wounds he received when the conflict took place. The 13 miners who had been arrested for treason went to trial, but all of them were exonerated. This was a great embarrassment to the government of the time, and especially to the Governor, Sir Charles Hotham, and to the Attorney General, William Stawell. They had insisted on going ahead and trying the treasonable miners, and all the legal advice was don't do it because you won't get a guilty verdict in Victoria, and that proved to be the case. So the treason charges were dropped, and as they were against Lalor. Late in 1855, Lalor was in fact elected to the first Legislative Council of Victoria. One of the consequences of Eureka was that it widened the electoral base for Victoria. It made possible the election of people who weren't necessarily from a wealthy background. We have basically somebody who led an uprising against the Crown, and yet here he is, or just a bit over a year later, being in a legislature, talking in various forms on various subjects to do with the colony as a whole. It's a very interesting process, isn't it, that allows a man of that background to be entirely accepted within the Parliament. And he stays a Member of Parliament until his death in 1889. The great cliche about Lalor is that he went from Eureka to Speaker.